going on to our next game, a game that's near and dear to my heart from my childhood. We have the Packers at the Vikings. The Vikings are 1-point underdogs at home, despite battling for that number 1 seed right now. Vikings win this game. The NFC North will be decided when they face Detroit in Week 18. Jair Alexander, even though he practiced, is going to be out because whatever. You will figure it out at some point in the future. I'm sure a story will come out about it. Ivan Pace is potentially back for the Vikings at linebacker. Harrison Smith did not participate in practice on Wednesday, but should be playing. Christian Watson did not participate. I think they didn't practice, but they just kind of like estimated that he did not participate. Evan Williams, the rookie defensive back for the Packers, did not participate as well. But man, I am stoked for this game. I have a lot of notes, but before I take up all the air, Charles, Packers offense, Vikings defense, what are you checking out on this side of the ball? Jordan Love against Brian Flores.
Well, I'm kind of looking at similar things on both sides, like as far as like both offenses are concerned, and I just want to see if the Packers and the Vikings, if their recent run game trends continue, because this is just looking at since the Packers bye, which is a week 10, so all these numbers are since week 11. The Packers are second in success rate rushing the ball. Vikings are 20th. The Packers are 5th in EPA per rush. The Vikings are 24th. The Packers are 5th in terms of percent of rushes that go for 0 or negative yards. The Vikings are 24th again in that. So the Vikings run game, it hasn't quite lived up to I think the standard they had built earlier in the season, where it seemed like that was just such a big, a piece of their offense that could kind of help get their play action game going, because you have to take the run game as a credible threat, or at least just address it up in a credible manner. So it's been interesting, I think, seeing over the past couple of weeks, how the Vikings offense has evolved. And I think a lot of it is it seems like Sam Darnold is just closing his eyes at times and just saying, Jordan's down there somewhere, Justin's down there somewhere, and it's honestly not a bad bet to make. So if Jair Alexander isn't going to play and the Vikings can't run the ball and they're struggling in that manner, I wonder if that's the spot where the Vikings need to start taking chunks of yards off the field at a time. So I wonder if the Packers kind of lean on their run game, which has been dominant recently, just to stabilize the game and maybe take some of the chaotic chunk plays that the Vikings are going to go after out of it, because I think the recent trends suggest that the Packers are probably playing a little bit better than the Vikings, just on a down per down basis, play per play basis, and the run game is going to be really key for both sides. I really like what the Packers are doing on their side of the ball. Think they have some of the coolest run game designs in the league, especially how they're using motion to bring guys in the backfield, and then just for a split second, you have what a normal offense looks like, but right in the lead up to that, there's a lot going on for the defense to look at. So I'm tentatively in favor of the Packers this week. They're running the ball really, really well. Jordan Love's playing out of his mind, but if they can just avoid some of the third downs where they're going to come after you, and that's where they struggle some this year, they should be all right on that side of the ball for the Packers.
Yeah, I looked at this and it was, the Packers, I kind of did the same thing. The Packers are so young. And after last year, they had a big splits after their bye week and after a mini bye week. And then this year, I was kind of expecting them to do the same thing. And sure enough, they've turned into a top 5 offense. And you did the run game stuff, even pass game stuff. Same stuff. They're third in EPA per play, fourth in overall success rate, explosive play rate, yards per play. So everything you just painted out is that this Packers team is ascending and peaking at the right time. Totally makes narrative sense when you remember that they're the youngest team. They're like, oh yeah, young guys get better. Arrow point up, disco stew to the moon. But I love this stylistic matchup of Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur, that offense going against the Brian Flores defense, which makes you do the big boy things at quarterback. And that's why it was kind of cool watching Geno do it last week. It wasn't all perfect, but I thought the Seahawks and Geno actually got after the Vikings defense at moments. They caught them other times, obviously with turnovers and everything, but they were, able to move the ball and hit some chunk plays. So I kind of looked at the previous matchups between Love and Flores, and I know I just say Flores, and I'm just talking about 11 Vikings defenders. It's like he's just the button Vikings defense. I just say Flores, but Jordan Love will push the ball. He pushes the ball far anyways. He pushes the ball even further against the Vikings defense, about 2 yards further than he has normally, over 10 yards per pass attempt, air yards per pass attempt against the Vikings defense for the last 2 years. Success rate's been about the same. What was really interesting was when they played in week 4 this year, Brian Flores ran more zone coverage than he ever has as a Vikings defensive coordinator in 2 years. They didn't run a single snap of true man coverage of cover 1. They did some other hybrid stuff, but they blitzed about the typical rate, a lot of quarters. The Vikings jumped out to a huge lead in that game, 28-0. The Packers chipped back, ended up with Love had a wonky stat line, like 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks. It's a crazy stat line because they're just chucking it. But I thought it was really interesting that they ran so much zone, especially going against the Packers defense or Packers offense, where you don't know who their number one pass catcher is every week, which helps against zone. And sure enough, Jordan Love against zone, top 5 in every rate. Success rate 5th, EPA per dropback 3rd most touchdowns, 2nd in yards per attempt, only behind Lamar, 2nd in average depth of completion. So this is, again, a matchup Jordan Love is fine with. Oh, okay, I'm going to hang in the pocket. He doesn't take sacks. He's only taken 4 since their bye week. Push back, push the ball. You're going to see a lot of dagger concepts. That's how you have to get after this Vikings defense. Love likes doing it, and the Packers offense likes doing it. And like you said, they're good at running the ball. So this is the formula to get after this Vikings defense. And I thought it was really significant. It's funny, in our group chat, Derek Klassen and I at the exact same time had the same stats about Jordan Love against the blitz before and after bye week. Before the bye week, Love was 33rd in the NFL in success rate against the blitz. He was 34th in EPA per dropback, negative 0.44 EPA per dropback against the blitz. So basically negative half a point every time he got blitzed before their bye week. He was only above Deshaun Watson. And this is not in my head how I picture Love in the Packers offense. And then you look after the bye week, 0.33 EPA per dropback against the blitz, 1st in the NFL. Would rank 1st if it was the whole season. Success rate is 5th at 52%. Lamar, by the way, for the entire season is at 57% against the blitz, which is bonkers, which is like one of the highest numbers I can remember, which just speaks to what Lamar is doing. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Lamar, by the way, in our Ravens breakdown game. Oh yeah, Lamar put on an MVP performance. We should also talk about that too. But yeah, he's really good, guys. He pushes it past the sticks on 3rd down. It's just a fun style matchup. It's just a defense that makes you play like a big quarterback. And Jordan Love's like, okay, Kobe, that's what he's going to do every single snap. So, and then also the other thing too, I looked at, there's 2 other things. I dove so deep into this game. I was so excited. Vikings versus play action, very boom bust. Give up top 6 in explosive passes against play action. Packers run a ton of play action, one of the highest rates in the NFL. Vikings versus receiver runs. Packers with Jaden Reed run more receiver runs than anybody. They've got more explosive runs off receiver runs than anybody, twice as many as the number 2 team. Vikings, 31st in the NFL against receiver runs, 20% explosive play rate against receiver runs. So, because they're so fast and they just go every which way and they really key in. So that's the thing that the Vikings make you do. You have to trust your changeups. All right, we're going to run this. It might go negative. Okay, we got it. Okay, good. Okay, reverse work there. Okay, we're going to run this play action. We got to turn her back. Okay, it worked there. So I just think the Packers, we use this term, have natural answers against this Vikings defense. Also, I have a prediction. Look for a little Luke Musgrave down the seam. A little Luke Musgrave seam ball. That's my prediction for this game. Something down the middle, Luke Musgrave. So just wanted to throw that one out there.